Hi everybody, I'm Wendy Reeves with Giles Call. I'm back. Lots of things going on. Lots of things that sound kind of negative but are actually turning out to be positive. I'm hoping that everybody will kind of veer off of what I thought was my original direction on this channel. It's really not a departure because it has to do with the aftermath of divorce and the stark reality of divorce recovery. First, can you see Jasper? And now we'll see if you can see Jade. that black lump right there, that black shiny lump, that's Jade. And I'm honored to have Jade because he rarely shows up during a video process. So what's going on now? Yeah, the last video was of course about the toxic workplace, and yeah, that's a hard topic. That's a hard reality to live with. And I'm going to confide a little bit of what's going on in my life. I want to take everybody on this journey with me because it's an unorthodox turn that I'm taking, and a lot of people think that my attitude toward this is a little bit strange, but before I elaborate, I just want to say that I have seen what God has done in my life since I served the husband with divorce papers. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. It didn't make sense for me to serve the husband with divorce papers. Again, I reiterate, no education, no degrees, no active certifications, no job skills, no work history to speak of. So it didn't make sense. And this is what I'm finding as my journey with the Lord goes on, as I age. God doesn't make sense. Not to us anyway. He often does not make sense. And I don't mean that irreverently, but that's what I'm finding out. So when I put up my last video, the one on toxic workplaces, I had really embarked on what I hoped would be a stellar career as a private contractor in home health. Now, I have my patient care technician's certification. It is national. And PCT is really easy because you don't have to work as a PCT to keep up that certification. You just have to do your yearly education. That takes about 4 hours, maybe max, once a year, and you're renewed. So it's easy peasy. Now, I can't work as a patient care technician in somebody's home because that requires the direct supervision of an RN. So what I tell my clients is I can't work in that capacity, but I bring those skills to the table. All right, now let's get down to the nitty gritty. The reason I put up the video about workplace toxicity is that God was blessing me so much with what was then my position as a private contractor in the home that I was working in at the time. I'm going to try to be very careful here and not elaborate too much, not violate any rights or boundaries, especially HIPAA. So, long story short, I was making more money than I ever thought I would ever be able to make, and I was really enjoying having that money on my soul. It enhanced my lifestyle. I was buying stuff for my hair. I was buying new work clothes. Yes, these are work clothes. And I did that deliberately because I hate scrubs. I hate scrubs. I mean, you can buy scrub skirts. I wear skirts. But they can be very dowdy. And I don't have either the time or the patience to put a hem in those things. So when one pair of scrubs kind of wore out, it was like, nope, I'm working privately. I don't have to wear scrubs. I'm just going to buy some decent looking work clothes, which is what you see me in now. And I got my little boho headbands to kind of dress things up. Anyway, yeah, this was fun. I mean, this was fun. I was making all of this money, and I was working nights, which I wasn't really too keen on, but hey, it worked. And then the toxicity reared its ugly head. And before I knew it, I was reacting with a lot of just subconscious symptoms, particularly symptoms with my stomach. I think I mentioned somewhere that I've been biting the inside of my mouth out and tearing at my cuticles and the whole 9 yards. And the toxicity finally became so bad that I was latching onto any excuse, as long as I didn't feel that it was excessive. I was latching onto any excuse not to be there. I mean, the first time that week it was a migraine, and the second time, I mean, these were legitimate reasons, but it was like, oh yes, I've got a legitimate reason, I'm going to go with that. The second time we were expecting like a severe storm. We were under a tornado watch, all that good stuff. So but at the same time, I think I confided to everybody that I had written up a contract for my clients. This is my contract. And the contract was basically a list of limitations for both parties. And unfortunately, these people had been very, I won't say high-powered professionals, but they too had been private contractors, and they were very used to having things their own way, and they just did not like what I had said in that contract at all. Now, everything was legal, everything was ethical. I did all my research. I made sure that it was conducive with the state laws, all of that good stuff, but they were not having it. And the toxicity that had gone before was the reason for the contract. Because the last time that there was completely unacceptable behavior, and I'm putting it as kindly as I can, completely unacceptable behavior, that was when I decided to write up the contract. Because it's like, I'm not putting up with this. I'm I get it that you're paying me a whole lot of money. I appreciate that fact, but that's not an excuse for you to use me as a doormat. So I guess you might say that I departed by mutual agreement, because they evidently did not like my attitude. So I'm virtually unemployed. And for some reason, God has just reassured me, you've seen what I've done. And I feel bad about saying a thing like that, because I don't think that we should presume to quote God unless it's directly from His Word. But I think everybody knows what I mean. I've seen what God has done in the past 3 years. He never missed a car payment. He never missed a rent payment. He's never let me down. He's never let me go hungry. He's never let me be homeless. So, yeah, was it kind of an easy position to be in? Yes, it is. Only I've seen what He's done. And also, it gave me more time to devote to what I'm hoping will turn into a career in content creation. So it was a blessing as well, because here I am. I'm sitting here at a time when I probably usually would not be. That's a good thing. I have more time to devote to my writing, my workbooks, things like that. So I just kind of want to take everybody on this journey with me. Now, I just came from 2 interviews. Praise be to God. And again, my neighbors at the old house, they were instrumental in one of them, the first interview, which was in person. That was directly a referral from my neighbors at the old house. And then just as I was walking in to the potential client's house, the phone rang, and it was another potential client, and she had picked up one of my cards that I had left at one of the businesses here in the town where I live. So God is so good. God is so good. I mean, day before yesterday, I lost the contracting job with that family, and I just, by the grace of God, I made up my mind I'm not going to freak out. I've seen him take care of it. He's given me at least 3 months of rent and car payments. Praise be to God. I'm going to rest in the fact that he is my Father and that he's going to take care of this. He already knows where this is going. He already knows. So I kind of want to take everybody on this journey with me. Don't know if anybody will be interested in that or not, but I've had people suggest over and over, you could apply here, you could apply there, you can do this, you can do that. People, I am not a traditional 9-to-5 person. And when I was working in the hospitals and in the nursing homes, now in the nursing homes they only did 8-hour shifts. In the hospitals they did 12-hour shifts. And I don't have a problem with those hours. I don't have a problem with those hours. I can stick it out 12 hours. But I am not a traditional workplace person. And the bullying, the abuse, the gaslighting, the manipulation that went on was just not for me. Not for me. And I'm not that kind of person anyway. I beg God over and over and over, give me a measure of autonomy. And when you're in the traditional workplace, to me, theoretically, they're buying your time. They're buying your time. They're paying you for your time. But the employers and the corporations especially, they don't look at it that way. They look at it as if they own you for that period of your life, for that 12-hour, 8-hour period of your life. And that's what I object to. I don't like that concept. I don't like that concept at all. And another thing that somebody pointed out to me last year, she was an RN, she was a teacher, and she was like, Wendy, hospitals are very conformist environments. And I've never met you, but I've talked to you a couple of times on the phone, and I know you're not a conformist. Yeah. She was so right. She was so right. So these are the issues that I'm dealing with, and I am just trusting God that he's given me the sense enough to know what's best for me. And I already know he knows what's best for me. So I have pretty much determined. Now, I'm not promising God, I'm not promising myself, I'm not promising you, but I'm going to do my very best to promote my own business. I was out hanging flyers yesterday. As everybody can see, I've been out placing business cards. I just gave a stack of the business cards to my neighbor, and she told me about this thing that the Chamber of Commerce holds every month, that I need to go to those events, and that she was going to try to find out about that for me. This is what I want to do. Now, I realize not everybody wants to be an independent contractor. It comes with a lot of responsibility. You don't have anybody standing behind you, so to speak, like you do in the traditional 9-to-5 workplace. But I'm praying that God blesses me here. And this is the direction I'm praying that God will allow me to take. And if you're interested, I want to take you on that journey with me. And please comment. Please give me any of your insight. I mean, even if you think that I'm being completely crazy and off the wall, tell me. I mean, because I already know that the direction I'm taking is an extremely unorthodox direction, especially for a woman in my place. I know that. This is just what I believe God has laid on my heart to do. But I want your comments. I want your input. I would love for you guys to talk to each other. And, and I guess in a roundabout way, I'm saying please like, subscribe, and share. But I'm sure that I will run into other toxic clients. I'm sure that I will. It's just that way. And yes, this is my way of dealing with it. This is my way of dealing with workplace toxicity. And that is not to say that that's going to work for everybody. I know that it's not going to work for everybody. But, I think as time goes on, it's really necessary to discuss how we can put our boundaries in place, how we can make it clear that, you can't walk all over me. Just because I'm an employee, just because I'm a coworker, just because I'm stuck with you for a certain number of hours every day does not mean that you can use and abuse me. So I think in the future we need to discuss these things. And this does come into play in the contracting business because I was so delighted with that position I had with these people, but they didn't want to hear that I wasn't an employee. They didn't want to hear that I did not have to disclose certain information to them. They did not want to hear that it was a non-exclusive contract. I know the first time that I informed the wife that I was getting another client, I mean, she hit the ceiling. And so you deal with all kinds of workplace toxicities in all kinds of settings. And I think this is something we're going to continue to address. But getting my own business was a result of the divorce. Learning how to deal with people's bad behavior has also stemmed from the divorce, because before the only bad behavior I really had to put up with was the bad behavior in my own home. Now it's the bad behavior that I have to put up with in order to earn a living. And man, I got to tell you, I think that this workplace toxicity situation, I think it's getting worse. And I think that corporate America, I think even our government, because, man, you tell somebody they're wrong and suddenly you've broken the law somehow. People honestly think that if you tell them they're wrong, that's abuse. Or I disagree with you, that's abuse. Or we have a debate, that's abuse. And unfortunately, I think even the government, and the government may be worse than anybody else. So, we live in a society where, the other person wants to call their limits right and left, but if you call yours, suddenly that's just not acceptable. And this is what we work with all the time. And this is what divorced women have usually coped with already in their homes. and then they go out there and they have to earn their keep. They have to earn their keep, and they're encountering the same things in the workplace that they fled in their marriages. So let's just, I mean, all I can do is tell you what my experiences are. I want you to tell me what your experiences are. I want you to tell each other what your experiences are, because I got to tell you, I don't know how women in certain positions cope with this. I really don't. Just the 7 weeks of bad behavior that I took during that short window that I worked in that home. Like I say, my stomach isn't working right, chewing the inside of my mouth off, tearing at my cuticles. I noticed when I was out on my my walk yesterday, same thing happened that used to happen years and years ago. I got, and don't ask me why I notice this when I'm out on walks. I don't know. But I look down and my fingers are just, they're all swollen and they look like sausages. And I knew it was a stress reaction. And so, you realize that you're so stressed that your body is actually swelling? I mean, that's bizarre. How do women cope with this stuff? How do you cope with this stuff? I'd like to know. Because I think that maybe most women are living with that. And then they're going home and they're taking care of the kids and they're taking care of the animals and they're taking care of the hubby, and taking care of the hubby is equivalent with taking care of another kid. And then, they've made the decision that the hubby's no longer going to be an issue and they're getting out of that, but they've still got all of this other toxicity to cope with. So, yeah, thank you for putting up with my rant. My cats have remained calm through my rant. I hope that you have too. I hope that this pulls a chord with all of you. I want to hear from you. Again, please, if you're loving this, like, subscribe, and please share, because I think that sometimes the biggest support that women can give each other is like I said, I think it was in my last video, I'm just here to sit in it with you. I'm just here to sit in it with you. And so please know, guys, I'm here. And if you have any suggestions as to what what topics that you would like to see me address, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. So, and I'm also, I did post a TikTok video, I think it was yesterday, and I'm going to post another one today. I'm hoping to keep everything, one can support the other, one venue can support the other. Know that I'm here, and I'd like to know that you're there as well. I'd like to know that you're here as well. I said that wrong. Yes, I'd like to know that you're here. So thank you all so much. I know it's been a rant, but God is good. And yeah, He's allowed me to have something to rant about. There goes Jade. I think Jade's getting tired of my ranting. He's given me something to rant about, but He's also given me something to rejoice about. It's only been one day, and I already have 2 prospective clients. God is so good. And just thanks be to Him and His Son and His holy name and His Holy Spirit. And let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much. Bye.